On Monday, President Obama presented his health care overhaul plan. Tomorrow, he's meeting with members of Congress to discuss that proposal. The battle lines across the aisle are already drawn. So what does the bill even look like now? Here to talk about what you're talking about is our power panel, journalists Judy Licht and Lynn White, and advertising executive Charlotte Ann Nelson, who draws the first question. So you heard the president's sort of adjusting, massaging, changing a little bit the Senate plan for health care overhaul. What did you think of it?
Look, it's not the plan that I would have proposed. I think that what is needed is a fundamental restructuring, and I think the only way to do that is with a strong public option. So I think that this plan puts a band-aid over some of those structural problems. That said, I think this is a plan that may have the best chance of passing. It's certainly one that he's showing some leadership on, and I think that's what we need.
It's a very expensive band-aid he's putting on there. He took, for example, the corn, two things that really annoy people. The Cornhusker kickback, where Nebraska got a special deal to buy the last vote necessary to get the thing past the Senate. He took the kickback and got rid of it by giving everybody the kickback. And he did the same thing with the sweetheart deal with the unions, letting them get a break on their insurance premiums by giving everybody the same break. So you're just laying another $100 billion on the table to say, okay, we'll fix these problems by giving everybody everything.
Well, it's cheaper than the House plan for a start, and secondly, it hasn't been costed out properly yet by the Congressional Budget Office, so I think we're not sure yet, but I think it's within the parameters of the plans we've seen discussed in the past.
Because it can't be costed out. There's not enough detail.
It's going to have to be. But I think politics is negotiation, and I think that's what you're seeing here, true attempts anyway to negotiate. And I think that's a good thing in our country. I think a lot of people are fearing what's going to happen tomorrow because we all know that the way the system is now, it's not working for anyone, Chuck. It's not working for the Dems, the Republicans, the independents, for you, for me. It's just at a stalemate, and we have to fix that, change that. So because it's going to be on the air for 6 hours live, we can all tune in and just see how either good or bad it really is. And I think we will judge and vote accordingly. It's a big step.
What's your opinion of the plan as it stands now, the one the president's pushing?
I think it's better than nothing, but I am with Charlotte Ann. You have
want the
to
public
have,
option, huh?
If you're going to mandate people to buy health insurance, give them a public option. Not everybody can afford it.
Judy?
Well, I couldn't agree less, as you probably know. Look, this is a bill that has failed before. More than 50% of the American public do not want this bill. It caused a political problem for the president earlier, so he's come around now and said, okay, now we're going to have bipartisan conversation. The bottom line is, it's the same old bill with a few tweaks. It's still going to cost too much money. It's not going to insure everybody, and it's just put together with a bunch of Band-Aids. And I think he's doing this because he has to save political face. By bringing the Republicans into a discussion, they're trapped because now they're part of his failure. I mean, they're cornering the Republicans and saying you've got to be part of this.
When they said no to every single thing, that was because that was their plan from day one. They said, we want health care to be his Waterloo. And who gets hurt? We do.
I don't think
him.
We
all suffer for
Lynn,
it.
I don't think they wanted it to be his Waterloo.
Well,
I think a large percentage.
Rush Limbaugh, and I think a lot of
Well, we're not talking
Republicans
about Rush Limbaugh. We're talking about a lot of people
point.
who are not right-wing nuts. We're talking about the conservative middle of this country, both Democratic and Republican. And the large degree of people in the middle do not want to have the government mandate what they do. They don't want to have rising costs. They don't want to have more expensive health care.
They want the public option.
No, they don't. Not the middle of this country. The far left wing wants it, but not the middle.
I don't think that's true.
I think this is going to be what's really interesting, because for my money, the Republicans have seriously miscalculated here. I think they're misinterpreting the Massachusetts defeat. They think it was a rejection of health care. It wasn't. It was a great Republican candidate trumping a terrible Democratic candidate. It was lack of involvement from the president, all sorts of local issues, and a vote against inaction on the part of the president.
There were two other elections that went on also where they're Democrats. I think there is a groundswell. I think the only problem that could happen is if the right-wing Republican nut faction, and I'm going to say that, takes control of the Republican Party, they can have a bad time again. But I think the center of Democrats and Republicans don't want this.
Judy, you've got the last word. We are out of time. Thank you very much. I just sit back and watch this thing. It's fabulous. Thank you, ladies.
Contribute.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.